Hello and welcome to week one of Microeconomics. We are down here in week one at this time. I'm going to scroll up top just so you can see where we are at. We're at BA 2580 Microeconomics, and we are going to now look at week one. However, before we jump into that, do want to remind you that the first thing that we want to do, as we discussed last time, is to log into McGraw-Hill's Connect. This is McGraw-Hill's Connect. And this is the video you need to watch in order to help you register to that. Once you do, then you'll have this Moodle Rooms here, and you'll have McGraw-Hill over here. If you have any questions on how to do that, then let me know if there's any problems in that. That's what we need to do on the first thing. Then we're going to scroll down here to week one, see what we have in week one. The weeks should be pretty standardized from shell to shell, from Moodle Room class to Moodle Rooms class, where we will have the objectives up top. More specific topics here. I'll let you take a look at those. Within the lessons, we'll list out the actual classes that we'll be covering, which in this case will be Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 4. Down here, I'm going to try to put some instructional videos for you. So if you go into here, you will have the instructional videos. They will then be housed in this format, so you can then watch them in this format here. And I'm going to go back to the cookie trail up top. If you wanted to see them all in one spot, then you could go into the YouTube channel. They should all be housed here. So if you just wanted to go to them at one place, you'd go down to Charter College and over to the Microeconomics, and they should be in the same order in this way as well. So if you wanted to go there directly, you could, going back to Moodle Rooms up top, or you can scroll down here and you can open them one by one embedded in the Moodle Rooms shell. Then we have the actual assignments, which start at the discussion forums and they go down to the quizzes down here. This is where you really want to check off the work that you have done. So most of the work, pretty much all the work, will be in the Connect, but not quite all of it. So you want to make sure as a basis of what you're going to do all the time is to just check off as if this is a check sheet in Moodle Rooms, even though most of the work will be up here in Connect so you don't miss anything. So before we go through this line by line, let's take a look at the syllabus real quick and just go through the strategy that I would recommend for all classes, and that is to get full credit on the 21% of the discussion forum posts. Get as much as full credit as possible on the assignments and the homework, and you have the most control over those, and then go into the quiz, midterm, and final with as large of a point cushion as possible. Make sure to take the quiz by Sunday. Quizzes can't usually be made up, so make sure you get points on the quiz. You can have the book open, you can print the book as a PDF file, have resources available to you when you take the quiz. Going back to Moodle Rooms up top, how do we do that? How do we get full credit on the discussion forums? Well, you follow these directions here. I'm going to distill those down to basically the idea that we need at least 4 posts. Most students need more than 4 posts, and that is because 4 posts is the minimum. So unlike other types of assignments where you do the work, you get a grade, the discussion forums count upward, so you accumulate until you receive full credit, and therefore if you have a less than great post, it's still going to accumulate points, but it may not accumulate points to full credit within the minimum amount of posts, which is 4. In other words, you can get full credit within 4 posts. However, sometimes it might take more than 4 posts in order to reach full credit. I recommend posting like 8 times or so if possible. I'm going to add a lot more material in here. Anything that I do add, don't feel intimidated by the amount of questions I ask. You do not have to answer all the questions I ask. What you got to do is get at least 4 posts. Try to get as more than 4 posts if possible in order to get full credit. What's a post that's going to get full credit? It needs to add content to the discussion. And so if you answer someone else's post and you say that was a good post or something like that, that's fine. However, not going to really get that many points because it doesn't add credit. If, however, you say, that was a good post, here's why, and you add something to it that hasn't been said before, then that would be something that would add credit to the post. If you copy and paste anything from a website such as Google or something, make sure to reference the post, and in order to get full credit on it, then you'd want to recap the post in your own words or critique the post or comment on the post in your own words in some way. Make sure, however, to reference it, because if you don't, then it's plagiarism. If you do reference it, it's not plagiarism. However, it's not a great post unless you reference it and recap it in some way. All right, so then we're going to go down to the assignments. All the assignments are basically going to be in Connect. So the ones that say Learn Smart here, if we go up to Connect up top, I'm going to put it on the student mode. And if you go into this icon, then these are going to be the Learn Smart. So you want to go into here And you should have a finite number of questions, should be like 25 to 35 per LearnSmart. Once you are done with those, if you go back into it, then you could then go back into it for practice for the quiz or something like that. So if you go back into it and you have like more than 35 questions, probably because you finished it and then you went back into it. So don't feel like you got to keep doing the questions after you are done with it. If you have a question on whether or not you are done with it, let me know. And again, it's a good indication. If you have anything more than 35 questions in there, you've probably completed that. Just note also that the ebook is over here. So LearnSmart will have kind of like an ebook in it, so it'll reference the ebook, but it's not as comprehensive as this ebook over here. I do recommend taking a look at those instructional videos on how to get around the ebook and how to learn how to use the LearnSmarts, and that'll really show you the difference between those two and how to use them best. This icon up here will just go to those same videos up top. So that's another link to the instructional videos, which will have the instructional videos all in one place. This is not an assignment, it's just for your reference. Going back up to Moodle Rooms. So then we have the news article. So the news article, also in Connect. That's going to be this one here. It's a bit longer of the assignment. So you'll go in here and you'll work the news article. And then of course, going back to Moodle Rooms, the homework then is the chapter questions, also in Connect. So if you go into Connect here, you have the chapter questions. So you want to go into the chapter questions and complete those. It'll be a bit different of a format. Going back to Moodle Rooms, then the quiz will actually be in Moodle Rooms. So you want to click on the quiz and you want to make sure to take the quiz, make sure you have everything available to you when you do that, including the ebook. So you're going to go back over here, you're going to open up the ebook, and you're going to have this information in front of you in chapters 1, 2, and 4, I believe it was, and make sure to use that as you go and complete the quiz by Sunday. Going to scroll up here, going to go to the gradebook on the left-hand side. Now the gradebook is not going to be a lot of use to you until the week is over. So the week ends on Sunday. You're going to mark off and you've checked off everything within Moodle Room that you have completed everything by Sunday. I then have until Tuesday to populate the gradebook. So I'm going to populate the gradebook probably by noon on Tuesday. After that time, you want to go in here and just double check that everything that you know it should be populated as, because you've been tracking it closely within Connected Moodle Rooms, is then populated correctly, and then ask me any questions at that time. For example, the discussion question will be 100% because you're going to make sure that you get 100% on the discussions as we have discussed. The assignments down here for week 1, we're going to pick that up, and then we should have the quiz should be populated, and the homework should be populated for week 1 at that time. The totals down here will just be representative of the sections of that one thing that we have done in week 1 at this time. And of course, it'll take the average of, say, these items as we go. And that's how the gradebook will work. If you get any zeros on this, then you want to basically see if you can pick up the late work on that, see if you can pick up partial credit on that. And if you have any questions at that after that time, then let me know. I will then pick up any late work questions in the following week, as well as any work that is in week 2. So I'm going to go back here to the cookie trail and just want to give you one last reminder that the first thing we want to do is to log into McGraw Hills Connect. Make sure you can do that. Make sure you're in there as soon as possible, and then let me know if you have any questions on that. And then we are good to go, and have a good week 1.